Welcome to week 7 of the SFL on VFN here from Western New York, Barclay Field at Compro Stadium. The 1-3 Queen City Corsairs tonight will welcome in the 1-3 Carolina Skyhawks. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, alongside my good friend Anthony Ellison. My name is Eric Vinson. Pleased to have your company here tonight. Kayla Foraker and Justin Preside are going to be in the stats truck for us this evening. And as always, Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. Anthony, this should be an interesting matchup between these two teams, both with really tough schedules to start things off here in the early goings of the SFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it in their record and their matchups here. They're two opposites. You're going to see Carolina, two-headed monster with Riley Quintero and Ike McBride. They're going to want to run the football. But then you go to Queen City side, and they're going to want to pass the football, so something's going to have to give here.
In fact, Ike McBride had hit 10,000 career yards just last week, so riding that high for her coming into Buffalo here to take on the Corsairs, and it looks like the hometown's Corsairs will get the football to start things off here at Compro Field. And we are ready to go. Taken out of the end zone. Good return past the 20, slips the initial contact and out to the 25. Mark him down at the 26-yard line. And we'll see Silas Christensen come out to lead the troops for the Corsairs.
And this is what we're going to see EK early. We're going to see how Queen City is going to set the tone with the passing game. I still think that they have two good running backs. You got to get them involved early.
Those two running backs being John Osmosis and Charlie Baker. They'll mix in Lars Bizarre at fullback as well, but definitely a good backfield for the Corsairs to work with, alternating between the passing and running attack, and that rushing attack stopped right away by the Carolina defense. We'll get a look at the Corsairs on offense here. We mentioned Silas Christensen, John Osmosis, Charlie Baker, and Lars Bizarre, the backfield there for the Corsairs. Ryan Davis, Bob Wood, Guy Clausen, and Joe Beasley, the wide receivers, along with James Matthew Jr. at tight end. And we'll get a look at the offensive line following this play as Christensen is in trouble, and he goes down. Early sack for the Carolina Skyhawks. Back-to-back big plays for Danny Stinson.
Yeah, tackle for a loss, and then a sack right there coming off the edge. I really appreciate the overload blitz. The lineman did not shift over, so they was able to get a free hit on the quarterback.
And so now that makes it a 3rd and forever, 3rd and 16 now for the Corsairs. Going with the bunch formation towards the top. Christensen rolls out, throws that way into double coverage, and it's going to be incomplete. It was really tight coverage there. It would have been a heck of a grab if he was able to thread that needle to Bob Wood.
Tight coverage. They knew that they had to pass the ball when you had two negative plays. Third down was going to be very simple right there. Good job by Carolina, forcing a 3-and-out on the first drive.
Corsairs offensive line looked good on that play. Don Cosmosis, Landon Onim, Kai Pickle, and Demon Pickle. As we get a fair catch called for and made just past the 40 at the 45-yard line. Good starting field position for Brian Dynasty in the Carolina Skyhawks offense. Dynasty will come out in a single back look, 3 wide. And they will keep it on the ground to start things off. Good move there by Quintero to avoid initial contact, and he gets a couple more yards, total of 5 on that play.
And then you're going to see it with Quintero and Ike McBride. They love to get yardage after contact. They like to keep their legs moving. You're going to have to bring multiple tackles to bring them down.
8 in the box for Queen City on the 2nd and 5. Staying on the ground, McBride trying to bounce it off tackle. Able to get maybe a couple of yards out of the deal. We'll look at the Skyhawks offense. Brian Dynasty at quarterback, Riley Quintero, Ike McBride, and Torrey Hanzo in the backfield. Nolan Pierce, Chase Earl, Adam Banks, and Chris Curtis, the wide receivers. Tony Zoma, Gibson Rickenbacker are the tight ends. Got Brookie Burr, Kate Palmer, Ricky Rigatoni, and Chris Cross on the offensive line. Dynasty on 3rd down, throws, catch, oh, almost.
Good knockdown by the 6'4" cornerback, Eric Belmont right there. Looks like it was man coverage. Good job following your receiver and then getting your hands in there. It wasn't a pass interference. That's good defense.
Adam Banks, the intended target. And so 4th down. After the beneficial field position for the Skyhawks, they'll have to punt it away and see if they can pin back Queen City deep. A little too much mustard on that punt, and it's going to roll into the end zone for a touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
All right, so second series for Queen City right there. You see the total yards, -6 yards. You want to get some type of positive yards in the beginning right there. You cannot abandon the running game early because it's going to push yourself in long 3rd down situations.
Slow starts for both of these offenses. We'll see what Queen City can do on their second possession. Right up the middle, trying to stick with that run game, as you mentioned, Anthony. But Danny Stinson has been all over it. He's had a very active game already tonight.
Already with 3 tackles. And he's in the backfield right there. You got to account for him on that defense.
Matthew Jr., the motion man. Christensen over the middle, too far and intercepted. Great play by the back end. The secondary, Mike Ryan, coming up with that one. That was just a gift there, Anthony. I don't know where Christensen was throwing that.
Yeah, I have no idea. It might have been like just a big overthrow. No, it was a slant route and just threw it way ahead. And good job by Mike Ryan getting his hands underneath to make sure you secure it. The hands were on the ground before the ball, so that is a clear interception.
Sloppy play from both of these teams to start the ball game off. Carolina, even better field position here for their second possession. From the Queen City 34, 1st down. Handoff goes to Quintero, trying to muscle his way out of the backfield, nothing doing. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. And we've actually got an injured Corsair out on the field. Luke Swift, the outside linebacker, needs some tending to.
And let's hope Swift is okay. You need these linebackers. They only run a 2 linebacker set with Swift and Dexter Jackson, so you do need both of those outside linebackers to play.
We'll see if we can keep an eye on the sideline for the medical update for Swift. Meanwhile, 2nd and 10 for the Skyhawks, 3 wide. Chase Earl, the motion man. Dynasty with time, going to throw far sideline into double coverage and incomplete, intended for Gibson Rickenbacker, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Carolina gave Dynasty time in the pocket right there. That was man coverage. Looks like they had a deep safety in the back right there. You just got to look underneath right there. It was open. You don't want to force those deep passes early in the game.
Dynasty on 3rd and 10. Trying to find an open man. Going to hit the crosser short of the line to gain. Going to get past the 30-yard line. It'll set up a 4th and 5, and we'll see if we get some points on the board.
Just get it a little bit closer for your kicker. That's absolutely fine. The turnover gave you field goal range, and all you want to do is just maintain it right there. You do have Malone Brown long. It's been 46 yards, so this is plenty in his range.
And the kick is no good. Missed it to the right, and we are still scoreless here in Western New York.
Like I said, he has plenty of leg power. Just got to be accurate right there. That's a poor missed time opportunity for Carolina, especially getting a turnover near your red zone.
And Anthony, I think the total yard says it all. We're halfway through the opening frame. Carolina has 11 total yards. Queen City doesn't have a positive yard yet. And they'll take over on the 36. Good run up the middle there, but guess who? Danny Stinson, another stop.
Might be the first positive play for Queen City today. You know, you got to start somewhere. You got to get out of the negative here. You got to be a little bit more aggressive with your running game.
2nd and 8 now. Christensen to throw. Good clean pocket. He's going to throw, and Matthew Jr. couldn't come up with the high ball, and it ends up being a 3rd and 8 now.
And I know it's been a little sloppy play, okay, but here's the thing is the defense on both sides has been really good. That just, it's great coverage. Good job by Queen City offensive line picking up the blitz, but it's just better defensive coverage.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space to throw these balls so far. 3rd and 8. Christensen, 5 wide, going to throw it middle of the field. There's a catch and a big play as they get into Carolina territory. That is James Matthew Jr. with his first catch.
The all-world tight end, 6'7", 265, loves to go across the middle. That's your target. That's what you want for Queen City. Just a nice little seam route right between the deep safety and that cornerback. That's a good throw, and that's because you had time in the pocket by your offensive line.
And I tell you what, even with the space that Matthew Jr. clearly had, Mike Ryan almost closed on that football. Big hit on the back end there as Christensen able to complete another one. This one close to the line to gain to Beasley, and it's going to be a 2nd and short coming up.
And that catch by James Matthew Jr., that's a timing play, and that's a trust play between your quarterback and your tight end.
Queen City starting to get a little bit of momentum here in front of the Corsair faithful. Offset I formation, 2nd and 2. Pitch play going to the outside and nothing doing. Going to end up being a 3rd and a little bit, 3rd and 1.
And we know Queen City is a pass-first offense. So what they're going to want to do is they want to throw the ball early so the box will be lighter so then you can run the football when you get less linebackers and linemen. That's what they want to do.
3rd and 1, fullback dive, gets the first down and more as they creep towards the SFL red zone with the first set of downs.
And that was just, let's go right behind Kai Pickle, 6'5", 350, 2nd year in the league, 2nd with the team. Nice big offensive guard was able to push and get that first down.
Christensen on first down, throws one-on-one coverage, catch is made, Beasley, end zone, touchdown Corsairs.
Look, that's a complete drive. That's what they thought about the first drive was going to be. We're going to run the football enough to get a first down so they can respect the run. Then I'm going to find one-on-one coverage on the outside, and that's what they did. One-on-one coverage, easy slant route, throw it inside, big target. That's textbook right there. You gotta love that EK to start the first quarter.
Tristan Hatley, the Carolina corner, got all sorts of turned around, and it was an easy catch for Joe Beasley and an easy 6 for the Corsairs as they add the extra point. 7-0 score off of that 7-play drive, and hey, look, we've got some positive yards in the stat column.
You gotta love it. I know all the fans, the chat, everybody loves positive yardage. Now let's see how Carolina is going to respond.
And I don't mean that to poke fun at the Corsair faithful, obviously. However, it's one of those things where you see half a quarter gone and you're seeing negative yardage on the scoreboard. You got to call a spade a spade. So here we go with another possession for Carolina. Dynasty having his own troubles with this Skyhawk offense. And we'll see what they can do to answer this 7-0 score. Three wide, single back. Going to go to Quintero on the ground to start things off, and a good run for him. We'll call it 4 yards, 2nd down.
I love that run play right there out of 3 wide receiver set. That means that you're forcing the defense to play a nickel package. You have to have an extra defensive back, and that's going to give you a lighter box so you can run the football, and that's a good job by Carolina changing up the play call.
Chris Curtis, the motion man. Keeping it on the ground. McBride trying to find a little bit of space, and she'll get close to that marker, make it a 3rd and 2 coming up for Carolina.
And EK, this is one of my focal points of the game I talked about in the beginning, is Ike McBride and Quintero. They like to run the football and not stop moving their leg. You see what she did right there on that ISO run? She got hit, but she stayed upright and got a little more extra yardage.
Busy legs from both these running backs. Quintero trying to bounce it outside, gets close to the line to gain, and forward progress will give him that first down. Move the sticks for the Skyhawks.
These are tough runs, but this is what I was expecting, EK, right here, to see what the spot of the ball was. They gave him forward progress, but let's see where the football was compared to that first down marker.
That's going to be tough to tell because I know in real time looking at it, it looked like maybe forward progress would get you the first down there, but Chad Stinson disagrees, throwing the early challenge flag, and this is probably a better look at it here. Yeah, it's close.
I think he broke it.
Wow, and in fact, they're going to respot the football. Queen City not going to be charged a timeout. It's a matter of what they call it now, but I suspect it'll be a 4th and inches, and that is indeed what they're going to call it.
Do you go for it is the question right now.
I mean, for me, I would. However, this early in the ball game, your own territory, it's not going to happen. So we're going to see a punt for Carolina here. And it absolutely is. It's annoying because you sit on your couch, you're watching the game, and you're like, come on, go for it. I can go ahead and stretch my pinky out and get that first down. But instead, going to go ahead and play the long game, kick the football away, and see if your defense can get a stop.
And then you might ask yourself, why not go for it? Because if you don't get it, you're going to be on the 30-yard line. That gives the offense more of an advantage. But if you punt it, like you said, and play the long game, your defense, they can hold them. So you just got to think about that. It's all about the analytics and the numbers.
It's that risk reward. Are you a gambling man or aren't you? Of course, they're setting up at the 41. A fullback dive there for a gain of 2. And speaking of defense, we're going to look at the Skyhawks defense here. L.J. Hobbs, May Carter, Phil Hall, and Christopher Colon all on the front 4. Inside linebacker Danny Stinson's been busy tonight, along with Mojo McClain, Shravon Prasad at linebackers. Tristan Hatley, T.D. Jack, Davidson Joseph the corners. Skippy Curtis, Mike Ryan, Rochelle Colston, all the safeties for the Skyhawks defensive backfield. Second down, Christensen, plenty of time. He's going to finally lob one to his check down, Matthew Jr. Only gets a couple on the play, and it ends up being a 3rd and 7.
And what would make this Queen City team dangerous is giving your quarterback time in the pocket. You see it right there. They're picking up the blitz. He's able to set his feet. You're going to see that's going to be hard for the defense if you can't get pressure.
3rd down, 4 wide, Christensen. Good clean pocket. He's got to get rid of it. Throws it over the middle and airmails the intended target. Going to be a 4th down now.
And, we go back to why you punt the football. If you are confident in your defense like Carolina was, you can stop them, and then you're going to get the ball back instead of trying to go for it and potentially not get it. Good stop by Carolina.
And that's exactly why you play the long game. Sometimes it works out, and other times you're like, well, man, maybe we should have gone for it. But this time for the Skyhawks, it does work out. Good decision to punt the football away as they get a good return here following the punt, bouncing it to the near sideline. Plenty of space trying to bounce it back in, but a penalty marker on the play. And it's going to be that clipping block in the back, and it's going to be coming back.
Yeah, and, they call that when you see the numbers and you see the back of the numbers and not the person in the face. So right there, 64, blocking the back is clear. You don't touch them if you see the back of their numbers. Let them go.
Kind of a couple different times there from behind, but referee saw it plain as day. And that's the other thing, too. You can't do it right in front of the referee. He's going to throw the flag every time.
Exactly.
So after the penalty, that'll back him up to the Carolina 34. Skyhawks down 7 with 1:44 to go in the opening frame. Keeping it on the ground, trying to find any sort of space, but Quintero goes absolutely nowhere. Luke Swift returns to action and gets the play right there.
So, EK, here's the problem. When you're a running team, if you don't have a lead or you don't control the clock, when you're behind, you have to pass the football And that's where your problems might come about. So you don't want to see Carolina keep falling behind because then you become one-dimensional.
McBride can't get out of the backfield either, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. And to your point, Anthony, I mean, you see that happen oftentimes with college football. You know, the military academies, they like to run a lot of option, a lot of football, so when the time comes to play from behind, they don't really throw the ball a whole lot, and it's asking them to do a lot. As Bryant Dynasty going to throw on 3rd and 11, and there you go, throwing it into triple coverage and incomplete, intended for Adam Banks.
And then, like, you're hoping for your tall receivers to come down with it on 3rd and long. Queen City knows that you have to pass the ball, so they're going to be in dime coverage. They're going to be in quarters. You're going to have more defensive backs out there to watch it. So that makes it one-dimensional in your offense, and that's what you not want to do because then it's going to be a long game.
Malone Brown with another punt. Fair catch called for and made just south of the 25-yard line. Mark it at the 24. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Anthony. It makes for a long game. And obviously, we haven't even made it out of the first quarter yet, but it does make for a long game, offensively speaking, if you run the football and the defense knows you run the football and they stop that run.
Exactly. It's a chess matchup that you try to be one step ahead.
Christensen with 5 wide, sets his feet finally and checks it down to the open man. That's Clausen with the catch and a gain of 4.
Have time in the pocket to look through multiple progressions. That's just all you ask for in the offense right there. Good job by Queen City offensive line once again.
Back to the ground game. Up the middle goes Bizarre, and he'll get close to the line to gain. 3rd and 2 coming up, and we might see one more play before the end of 1.
Second time we saw the fullback dive right there. It's a long lost play that I love to see. It's smash mouth football.
Jess gets the play off before the end of the quarter, and Osmosis able to power through to get the first down as we reach the end of 1. Queen City up by 7 as you're watching the SFL on VFN. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags Drone Works, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Dags always does a great job with his aerial photography and videography. Haven't gotten a chance to see one of his drones in person, actually. I'll have to ask him that next time I see him.
I do. I want to know what type he used.
Yeah, absolutely. Back inside of Compro Stadium as the hometown Corsairs hold a 7-0 lead to start the second quarter. Charlie Baker with the pitch play there. Goes absolutely nowhere. Good wrap up by Tristan Hatley.
All right, so let's see what type of adjustments you can do for Carolina on defense. You got Stinson that's playing a good job right now. You try to contain this Queen City team that's making a move.
That's a good start right there on first down. Second down now. Christensen going to check it down to Matthew Jr. Good play by the linebacker Prasad, and it brings up a 3rd and long.
So after that long play by James Matthew Jr., so Carolina's made an adjustment to play more deep coverage and give up the underneath route. That would be a good job. You just got to make your tackles.
Great point there, Anthony. 3rd and 7 now. Now making it in 2-2 formation with single back. Christensen to roll out. He'll fire middle of the field. Catch made, and that's going to be a first down into Carolina territory.
So recognize that was like a cover 4 shell. You had 2 people going to the flat. You only had 1 middle linebacker covering the middle. So they pulled the middle linebacker away to the right, and it went back to the left side. They found a little tiny hole in the zone, and that was a good job recognizing that.
Christensen 6 of 10 for 83 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Pitch play goes to Baker, avoids initial contact, taking on Ryan, and rolls over him to get a couple extra yards, making it a 2nd and 6.
And this is just, controlling the clock, keeping the defense up there. Good job. Now, Carolina, I do want to see you put some pressure. Send some blitzes like you did the first drive when you got that sack.
Christensen sets his speed. He's going to throw an incomplete diving attempt at it was Danny Stinson. What can't this guy do?
He can do everything. He is the fact that you got a linebacker that can play the run and the pass and can pass rush. That is a complete package. That's what you want in a linebacker.
So that forces a 3rd and 6. Queen City converted one earlier. Actually, 2 earlier. Christensen just going to take off and run. He's got the first down, close to it. But he slid before the marker. It's going to be a 4th and 1.
Yeah, what a way to stay composed in the pocket. Good job by Carolina coverage. It was like almost a cover sack, but he was able to get out of there and just slid right before the first down marker.
And with Queen City in no man's land, they're forced to punt. Fair catch going to be called for and bobbled, but made right around the 20. They'll mark it down at the 21-yard line. That gives you a little lemon booty there, Anthony.
Yeah, stay away from it. Like, that's a sky punt. They do that on purpose. That's how you get, knocked out. Just let it roll out and see what happens.
No, you never want to rush up on a short, buffed punt like that and expect that you're going to go ahead and make the secure catch there.
That's how you get benched on the sideline.
That's how you get benched. That's how you get your clock cleans. Any number of different options there, but Nolan Pierce unscathed on that one so far. 2nd and 10 now after the run for no gain.
All right, now we got to see something from Brian Dynasty. You can't just hand the ball off and think it's going to be good. We got to see some passes out of you.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him throw the football a whole lot. 1 of 4 for only 5 yards. And the run game, it just really hasn't put a whole lot on the board. I mean, you see the total yards. We've got 20 yards to speak of for Carolina. They've got to get something going here, especially on this 3rd and 5, going empty. Chase Earl to motion, man. Dynasty throws quickly, threw it into double coverage intended for Chris Curtis, and it's another 4th down for the anemic Skyhawks offense.
And you're asking for a lot out of Chris Curtis, Adam Banks, Chase Earl, Nolan Pierce. You're asking to do a lot when you know that you're going to pass the football there. Dynasty has to play better than his 47.6 QBR rating.
Another punt, another fair catch. This one not bobbled, but made at the 39-yard line. And Queen City will take over, still up by 7 with 6.5 to go here in the opening half.
There's still time, right, for Carolina. Queen City, this is a good time to try to put some points on the board. Carolina gets the ball back and after the half to try to, slowly peel away.
Christensen can swing it out to Baker, trying to get out of the backfield, but gets hammered right at the line of scrimmage by Skippy Curtis, and that is going to be a 2nd down coming up.
Coming out of her free safety position and lay the tackle, you gotta love it.
Christensen going to send Matthew Jr. to the other side of the formation. Keeping it on the ground, stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, Danny Stinson. And you talked about it, Anthony. I mean, plenty of time, especially for the way that both of these teams play their football. But it certainly seems like Carolina is having a lot more trouble offensively than really Queen City is currently.
Yeah, it's that we need to run the football on 1st and 2nd down, but if you're not...
Oh, there's a big play right there. And another... Oh, wow, what a play there. Ryan Davis lost for words as he makes that catch and squeaks through the couple defenders, making a huge play for the Corsairs.
That play right there kind of broke up my connection right there. And I didn't realize what happened. And then right when they came back on, a big play right there on the seam. You got the throw was right on the money too. That was incredible.
So pretty much the only big plays that we've seen coming from the arm of Christensen. And now Queen City set up with a 1st and goal off of that big catch and run by Ryan Davis. Christensen, blitz coming. He's going to go down.
Oh.
Denson, his 2nd sack of the night.
Look, I'm not the coach for Queen City, but I am blocking that man right there. It's just a simple A-gap blitz. I love the stunt up front for the defensive linemen so they confuse the offense and their blocking scheme. And Stinson got right in there for his 2nd sack of the game.
Hey, look, that's a bad man. 9 tackles and 2 sacks already. Ooh, yep, you're going to want to block that guy. Blitz coming again. Christensen gets rid of it. Matthew Jr. with the catch. It's going to be a 3rd and goal after a gain of maybe a couple.
Like you have this incredible like linebacker in Stinson, but do not sleep on Prasad and McLean. They are great coverage linebackers. This is a really good linebacking core for Carolina. 3rd and goal. Christensen. Pocket collapsing, throws back corner, tippy toe grab, and another touchdown for Joe Beasley. Jerry Rice-esque right there. That's the way to awareness. Where you are in the back of the end zone, how much end zone deep that you have, went up at the highest point, but still was able to get 2 toes down. That is textbook. Kids, you want to be a football player, you want to be a receiver. Watch that right there. Great awareness, great catch to take a bigger lead. A la Dwight Clark, the catch back for the San Francisco 49ers back in the day in the NFC Championship. Just high pointing that football in the back corner of the end zone, getting the toes down and getting the score. And now Beasley has 2 of them tonight, both of the touchdowns on the board, all 14 points. And with just under 4 to go, Carolina, well, they got some work to do. Yeah, they do. So now, Queen City mindset on defense, we're going to play the pass. They have to pass the ball. Brian Dynasty only has 1 touchdown pass for the season. You're going to have to get a couple touchdowns just to get back in this game. Keeping it on the ground again. Quintero trying to find a little bit of space, and maybe does get a little bit of space. Only a couple yards. We haven't even looked at the Queen City defense, so let's do that quickly. Darko Young, Chad Stinson, Finn Steele, and Robert Cronel on the front 4. Duncan Onum, Luke Swift, Dexter Jackson, the backers. Bentley Bonner, Elijah Quick, and Eric Belmont, the corners. Alex Marshall and Justin Razad are the safeties as X McBride gets the carry on 2nd down there. Not a whole lot of room to operate, and a 3rd and 8 upcoming. They have to change their cadence up, EK. You can't go run, pass every single drive. Maybe 1st down, you throw the football and see what happens. Now, we know you're in spread formation. We're in a dime package. We know you want to throw the football. And here comes the throw from Dynasty, throwing it into double coverage once again, intended for Chase Earl. And it's another 3 and out here for Carolina. Couldn't get all the way into that throw, the pressure in his face right there. So that's why it was a little bit higher than intended for the receiver. Good job calling up a good blitz right in the 3rd down. Now they're going to get the ball back with enough time to go down and score again. Good hang time on that punt. Fielded by Wood and brought out to the 44-yard line. Really, to no one's surprise, time of possession doubled up by the Corsairs. Almost 11 minutes compared to Carolina's 5 minutes, and the Skyhawks haven't converted a 3rd down all game long. And normally when you control the time of possession, you're usually in the lead. As is the case here with under 3 to go in the opening half. Keeping it on the ground, Bizarre, good carry there for a couple. Actually, they'll give him 3, bringing up 2nd down. Now, Carolina here, you want to stop Queen City to get the ball back because you do get it back to start the third quarter, but you want to not let this momentum keep going for Queen City.
Christensen will set his feet and fire near the first down marker. That's Matthew Jr. They'll mark it just shy and give him a 3rd and inches.
Big third down right here. You want to send, I'm sending heat. I want Stinson to go on the blitz right there. He got 2 sacks already, and try to stop them, and you will have time with getting the ball back.
3rd and very, very short. Fullback dive. Bizarre with the first down and more near the 40-yard line of Carolina. And this is what I mean, honestly, truly, Anthony, the Carolina defense has played extremely well given the circumstances that their offense has put them in as we hit the 2-minute warning here at Compro Stadium. Queen City up 14-0 over Carolina.
Yeah, they've been playing a really good game. They've been in unfortunate field position, and that's why the score is the way it is.
Keeping it with the fullback. And another couple of yards. Letting some clock chew up. Queen City trying to get into field goal range at least and add 3 points before the end of the half. Still going up the middle. This time lining up the running back Osmosis at the fullback spot, and he gets the first down. Clock continuing to roll.
Yep, keep on running it. Now they're in field goal range for their kicker, Joe Garfield, who has the league high distance in 51-yarder. Hit a 51-yard field goal, first in the league, so he has a leg.
Keeping it on the ground. Baker with the carry. Getting a couple more. And it looks like Carolina will call their first timeout. They'll have 2 remaining.
Yeah, so Queen City is finding success on the ground right here. These fullback guys, these little quick hits, they're getting 3 to 5 yards, and they're wasting clock. They are okay with getting in field goal range, but they're looking for that one-on-one coverage out on the numbers.
Christensen throws. Big hit by Prasad on the back end there on Matthew Jr. And apologies, that was Queen City that actually called their first timeout a play ago, and they will burn their second timeout here. 1 remaining.
3rd and 3. If I'm Queen City, I'm looking at Joe Beasley. See if he can get his 3rd touchdown in the half. Looking for a one-on-one coverage.
It's down at the bottom of the screen. Christensen going to throw that way and incomplete. Looks like he ran a route that cut back towards the middle of the field. Didn't quite give him the opportunity that Christensen was hoping for.
Yeah, he definitely wanted it. It just the route combination, going back towards the defense. But once again, field goal range, plenty enough leg for this kicker.
A modest 42-yard attempt here for Garfield. High snap, but it gets down, and it is going to go right down the middle for another 3 points for Queen City. 17-0 the score here as we inch closer and closer to the halftime break.
Yeah, once again, another good drive. You saw more running on this drive for Queen City with Bizarre, Osmosis, and Baker. So it's really good to see the balance of the attack for Queen City. Carolina, you want to put a drive together. Maybe you can do it in these last 50-some seconds.
Another big kick ends up in the end zone. Another touchback out to the 20-yard line with 52 seconds to go. Chat, how we doing tonight? It's been a minute. We hope you haven't forgotten. It's super simple to smash that like button and help the channel out. We just crossed the 8,500 subscriber mark, so subscribe if you haven't already, so that way you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. We appreciate your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. First and 10 here for the Skyhawks. We'll see what Dynasty does with 52 seconds to go. All 3 timeouts. He will throw. Throws it into coverage, and a good play by the outside linebacker Swift to deflect that football.
I like that there. If you can't get the interception, knock it down, put your hands up, get in the passing lanes.
Definitely wasn't a bad throw by Dynasty. It looked like he had an open man at the sticks. Just a better play by Swift to knock it down. Dynasty now 1 of 7 on the evening. Second and 10, back to the ground game. Quintero trying to find a little bit of space, and he'll get a few yards, but the clock will continue to tick away.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just settling to go into the half, looking at some quick film to see what adjustments can be made.
4 wide, under 30 to go. Dynasty to the air. Going to swing it out to McBride, and nothing doing. Swift right there on the spot to make the play. And we'll see our last timeout from Queen City on defense in order to save a little bit of time for possibly a final field goal.
Another stop by this Queen City defense here. 17 seconds. Probably can see them run it out to the halftime, but this is a good first half.
It's been a great first half for Queen City across the board. And meanwhile, for Carolina, they are 0 for 7 on third down to start the game. Something has got to give. They got to make some sort of adjustment going into the half.
Yeah, you got to have more than just 7 yards passing, or you're just not going to have a successful football team.
Queen City dominating the total yards as they set up shop from the 41. Little fullback dive to Osmosis, and that is going to bring us to the end of half number 1. Queen City dominant in the first half of play, up 17-0 over the Carolina Skyhawks. As we hit the halftime break, we get a look at the first half stats and highlights. Anthony Ellison, what say you?
I saw a Queen City team that was rocky in the first drive, but recognize that they have a good passing attack and they can keep Carolina at bay. The key thing was to stop the running game. And when you can hold Quintero and McBride to under 20 yards rushing total, this is going to be a successful game plan. That's exactly what they did, and they came out there. Now, for Carolina to come back out, they got to do more with Brian Dynasty. Move those receivers in motion. Try to stack them up. Try to find some holes in that zone defense. The game is not over with yet.
Ever since that early turnover by Ryan to set them up with great field position and they missed the field goal, Carolina just hasn't been the same. They have not looked very good at all. Very predictable. As we see Stinson as the first half guy to watch out for. 10 tackles, 2 sacks, a pass deflection, and he's going to be a busy man moving forward as we get into the second half of play here from Barclay Field at Compro Stadium in Western New York. Queen City to kick the football off, and Carolina will get the first crack of the football to start the second half.
And Eric, this is so big. This drive for Carolina coming out. You had time to rest. You look at some different plays that you can do, but this is so key to keep this game going for Carolina.
Banks going to bring it out of his own end zone and gets past the 20. He'll make it out to the 23-yard line. And not a single first down has been made by the Skyhawks all game long. Absolutely wild stat. And you're absolutely right, Anthony. This is going to dictate how the rest of the game is going to go. This drive right here. If you can't get anything going here, it's probably going to be the track record for the rest of the second half.
Yeah, so this is the time for Brian Dynasty to step up, be the leader of this offense, and deliver some good completed passes.
See what sort of halftime adjustments were made by the Skyhawk coaching staff. From the 23, 3 wide, single back. Dynasty to throw on first down. Over the middle, catch going to be made by Chris Curtis. He's made one of those tonight, the only other completed catch. But this one for a first down, the first down of the game for the Skyhawks.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Instead of running the ball on first down, the sense of motion. You've been seeing Chris Curtis in motion all day. You're trying to find if it's a zone coverage or a man coverage. When you send that receiver across the way, recognize is zone and find the spot in there to get the first down.
Dynasty back to the air. Got to go back to Chris Curtis. Another catch, another first down. Hey, look at that. Go ahead and mix up the offensive play call a little bit, and you might get rewarded.
Look, if you're a starting quarterback in the league, you can throw the football. You just got to be able to call the right plays for it. Back-to-back plays. That time, Chris Curtis had the slant route and broke inside and broke the shading coverage right there, recognizing they were playing outside coverage, go inside, good catch.
Great start so far for the Skyhawks here in the second half. Chase Earl, the motion man. Dynasty, draw play to Quintero. Nothing doing. But you know what, Anthony? I don't mind that play call there.
No, not at all, because you just did two first down passes. Now let's see if the running game is going to be open, because the thing is, Carolina still wants to run the football, but they have to soften up that middle by getting less in the box so they can do that.
So no gain, 2nd and 10, back to the ground game. McBride going off tackle. She'll get a few, and it's going to bring up another 3rd down.
So unlike the first half, I have confidence right now that Carolina can complete this 3rd down, because what we saw a couple plays earlier.
It's really the only drive that we've seen from them tonight where they've had some sort of momentum with the football. 3rd and 7, opponent's territory for the first time tonight since that turnover. Dynasty in trouble, and down he goes. Went the long way around, did Chad Stinson, but he got to the quarterback and a sack.
That is what we call a cover sack. Nobody was open. Good job by the defense playing every route right there. As a quarterback, you cannot hold the ball that long. You got maybe 2 to 4 seconds to make your decision, probably less. You just cannot hold it for that long, because things like that will happen.
So Carolina gets a couple first downs, but still over in the 3rd down conversion department here tonight. And now Queen City will get a crack at the football, starting at their own 15-yard line.
Now Queen City, you had success to run the ball, obviously, but you also ran the football pretty well with your fullback dive. You want to control clock, and that's going to be really key.
Offset single back, 3 wide. Going to give it to that back. That is Charlie Baker with the carry. And once again, Danny Stinson getting in there with the stop.
Got to run away from Stinson. He's going to make the tackle. You got to make sure you identify him, and that's who you want to block first.
Clearly, offensive line not getting to the 2nd level there, as Christensen going to fire, and that's going to be completed.
What an absolute dime right there. Prasad was in coverage in front of him. That should have been an interception. What a way to put some zip on the ball. Yeah, it went right through number 99 for Carolina. That would be, yeah, Prasad on a good coverage right there. Just a better throw.
Fit it in between the 2 linebackers. Very impressive throw there by Christensen to get the first down. And on that first down, we get a gain of 6 from Charlie Baker. Looks like Mike Daggs answered our question about his drones in the chat there, Anthony.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Didn't realize he had 5 drones. That's awesome. I love that. It's a lot of hovering robot out there.
Yeah, I want to fly one.
Christensen with the quarterback keeper. Going to get close to the line to gain. Going to be a 3rd and inches now.
And they can, honestly, I would keep it on the ground, quick fullback dive or a quick hit. You know, you just got to run away from Stinson. But this box right here, only 4 down linemen. The linebackers are kind of far back. You got room.
Bizarre with the carry, but he's not going to get there. Prasad coming in there. I was ready to say Stinson's day, but Prasad actually got in there and made the stop.
Yeah, Prasad want everybody to know that he's no slouch either. Like that linebacking core is dangerous for Carolina. Good stop on 3rd inches.
So Carolina gets a stop on defense, much needed. Fair catch going to be called for and made right around the 30, mark him at the 31-yard line. Still an opportunity to get back into this ball game. It's a 3-possession game, but there's still plenty of time.
And you saw a glimpse of how they can do it. Throw the football with confidence, move your receivers around, and try to find that opening.
We'll see if they can replicate it here and see if they can put points on the board. Instead, they'll go with a pitch play to start things off to Quintero. And much like previous drives before, gets maybe a couple yards.
At least it was a different run play. It was a pitch to the outside. You're trying to see if you can find some movement from your blockers on the outside. Couple yards.
2nd and 7, motions to the offset look. Going to go on the ground to McBride, who gets buried in the backfield. That was just a good play by Luke Swift. It looked like McBride might have had some room to operate to the outside there.
Look, if your defensive line is doing their job, the linebackers will have room to shed blocks right there. Good job by Swift shooting the gap and stopping them right at the line of scrimmage.
So now that forces Carolina into another 3rd and long situation, 5 wide. Dynasty over the middle. Catch is made by Quintero inside the 50 and into Queen City territory. And see, that's the perk of having a back that has played both wide receiver and running back in this league.
Yeah, and that was a all-go route. Everybody did a seam route. So the reason why you do that is you're trying to see if it's a cover 2 or cover 3, because they only had a single high safety, and what a throw. And like you said, to have a running back that used to be a receiver, they got surefire hands like that.
Fresh set of downs for the Skyhawks. First 3rd down conversion of the evening as McBride tries to lower her shoulders, and she will get 6 on 1st down, bringing it up a 2nd and 4.
Oh, regardless of what's happening, she's going to lower her shoulder. She wants the contact. She wants all the smoke and those extra yards.
McBride, a punishing runner, 6'2", 260, first season here in the Skyhawks uniform. 2nd and 4, Quintero trying to move his legs and nothing doing. He'll get a couple of yards, brings up a 3rd manageable though.
You know, Quintero is going to be your shifty one trying to sneak through, and then McBride, she's going to try to run you over, coming over from Vancouver.
3rd and 2, ground game. McBride gets off the initial contact, but does not make it to the line to gain as Marshall comes in there and makes the stop, and now it's a 4th and short. What do you do?
I feel like you're on their side. It looks like they're going to punt the ball, but I would have tried to go for it.
It's definitely no man's land. I think going for it in this situation is better than, your own side of the field. And this is a wise decision here from the Queen City return man to just let this one bounce inside the 10, and they'll mark it down at the 9.
Yeah, now you pinned them. You pinned them back. So as a defensive mindset person, I'm sitting so much pressure, EK, right now. I don't want the quarterback to have time to do anything.
And your 2 star linebackers in Stinson and Prasad, they have had wild games thus far, so go ahead and send the house as we get a run play to start things off for Queen City. Baker gets a couple, 2nd and 8 coming up.
Good stop before that happened. There was some daylight, but good job by the safety coming down and making that play.
Offensive line for Carolina shifting to block the interior. Motion man is Clausen. Keeping it on the ground. Big hit there by Danny Stinson, knocking John Osmosis back about 3 yards.
It's just the leader of the defense right there, just making another play and just hit him so hard that the feet come off the ground. That's just good, hard-nosed tackling.
You know it's a big hit when they give you forward progress to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long, Christensen got to get rid of it. Throws it over the middle. What a catch We have seen several of those plays tonight. And guess who? Joe Beasley with the 2 touchdown grabs tonight.
To have that type of zip on the ball, that's hard to teach. That's just natural ability. To throw it, you saw the number 20 is ready to intercept the ball, Rochelle Colston. And she loves to ball hog right there in the middle, and you just threw a zip pass there. Good catch by Beasley, and a big 3rd down play.
Especially when you're watching the pocket collapsing around Christensen. You know he has to get rid of the football, and he throws an absolute dime. What a conversion. Back to the ground game. And Osmosis gets a couple of yards on that play. Prasad with the tackle there. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And Eric, that's something that hurts your team. You get them in a 3rd and long situation. You know they're going to pass the football, but you still give up the 3rd down. And that keeps your defense on the field much longer. They're getting tired, and you can't make any moves.
And that's why you see the game in a situation like we do right now, where the Skyhawks, not a whole lot to speak of offensively. Queen City able to possess the football more, put up more points, put up more yards. Makes it really, really tough on the best of defenses. 3rd and 5 now. Might be the final play before we hit the end of the 3rd quarter. Christensen going to roll out. Pressure coming in his face. He fires. He's got another completion and another big play into Carolina territory. Bob Wood with his first catch of the evening.
Love it. Roll out to the left. The drag came from the backside. They got behind the linebackers. Perfect. That's a dime, and that's perfect fitting right there. Another 1st down.
24-yard catch to end the 3rd quarter of play. Get your 4s up in the chat. We got one more to go here from Western New York. The hometown Corsairs up 17-0 over the visiting Carolina Skyhawks. SFL on VFN action rolls on here. Eric Vincent here and Anthony Ellison there. We've got Michaela Foraker and Justin Reside in the stats truck. Commissioner Cameron Irvine pressing all those pretty buttons back at SFL HQ. Pitch play goes to Charlie Baker. Stinson, the first guy there, and cleaned up by Ryan. Going to be a short 1-yard gain. And we've seen a couple back-breaking plays here for the Carolina defense on this particular drive, Anthony.
Yeah, it's like they do a great job getting them in this 3rd and long situation, and they give up just a mental lapse in judgment when it comes to the defense on 3rd down. But they've been playing good defense and just giving up timely big plays.
And we talked about it. I think that's more a product of how the game is situated currently, more so than how the defense actually performs. And you're asking the Skyhawk defense to do an awful lot right now. 3rd and 6 here. Christensen going to set his feet, fire another dime, this time inside the 10, mark him down inside the 5 for a 1st and goal to James Matthew Jr.
And now what we're seeing is just fatigue. You're on the field so much, and now you're just getting tired. Now that's incredible. You throw enough arc over the linebackers, but just enough that it falls in front of the safety. That's a perfect window pass, and another great 1st down conversion, 3rd down conversion for Queen City.
Christensen has looked sharp tonight, with the exception of that overthrow earlier in the game as Osmosis gets into the end zone and starts to pour it on for the Corsairs.
6'3", 224-pound rookie, just easily in there. There was nobody to block. You saw number 69 not able to block anybody, so to get into the end zone. That's just tiring the defense, and it's just by good play call and the balance. But that drive right there, Eric, is because they had big 3rd down plays that they converted.
And that's a great point, and we saw that show up on the screen. Queen City 10 of 15 tonight on 3rd down conversions compared to Carolina, who is 1 of 10. That is, much like the turnover battle, that is always a glaring stat to look at to see who is winning the football game.
And it's going to show you who is fighting more in those situations. And right now, Carolina, it might be a little bit out of stretch for this game, but you have pride, and you want to see you put together a complete drive.
we've really only seen one decent drive, I would say, out of the Skyhawks offense tonight. And it was the initial one coming out of the locker room to start the second half. We'll see what they can do here, see if they can save some face being down 24-0 with just under 9 to go here in the fourth quarter. Dynasty to the air. Going to throw into coverage and incomplete, intended for Chase Earl.
And we haven't gave enough credit to Queen City's secondary. They've been all over these receivers, having a hard time trying to find the one-on-one coverage. They've just been swarming the ball.
Yeah, lots of pass deflections tonight. Justin Reside with 3 to his credit alone. Second down, Dynasty in trouble. Swift gets the sack.
And like we've been seeing Stinson on the other side, we've been seeing a lot of Swift today, especially in the running game, breaking up the runs in the backfield. That time, got home on a blitz and got a sack. Just been relentless on defense.
Had a little bit of a stinger there in the first quarter, but got right back out there. And, man, he has been invaluable to this Queen City defense. Dynasty going to swing it out to Quintero, who gets just past the 20-yard line. Maybe a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up another fourth down.
And that's just been the problem today. It's been not enough from Dynasty in this offense. And when they couldn't run the football, this was going to be a problem.
Another high arcing punt. Bob Wood, good return there to avoid a couple of the Carolina defenders, and he'll make it into Carolina territory at the 48-yard line.
Now you want to keep fighting here, Carolina. I commend this whole defense. They've been doing good. They gave up some low lights on third down, but they've been fighting, doing everything they can. Queen City just had a great game plan.
Delayed handoff. Baker with the carry and gets about 5 yards out of the deal. Bringing up second down. Clock continuing to move, and that's exactly what Queen City wants. They want to get out of here and treat the home crowd to a blowout win.
Absolutely. Trying to focus on staying competitive in that North Division that's really jam-packed. So coming out of here with a win today will be key for Queen City.
Carolina coming out with a man look on 2nd and 5. Fullback dive goes to Bizarre. Danny Stinson and Ryan wrapping up and making the stop, bringing up a 3rd and 2.
What, Eric, I didn't see happening today was Queen City running game outdoing Carolina's that's like a top 10 rushing offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And even to that effect, it's not, they didn't blow them out of the water, so to speak, as we see Osmosis get dragged down to the backfield by Mike Ryan. They didn't blow them out of the water, so to speak, but also Carolina's offense was not impressive at all tonight.
No, not at all. But give credit to Queen City defense. Carolina came in averaging over 110 yards rushing a game, and you held them to right now under 50 yards. They're at 34 yards rushing.
Yeah, you've got 2 of the biggest names in the SFL in that backfield for Carolina, in Riley Quintero and Ike McBride, and both of them have been absolutely stymied. So we get another punt there, bringing up a 1st and 10. Folks, you're watching Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, SFL Week 7 is on tonight, Saturday and Monday. And the UFL's final 2 weeks of the regular season continue Sunday and Wednesday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on VFN. Dynasty to the air on 1st down, uncorks one intended for Rickenbacker, and that's incomplete. And now Swift is down again.
Yeah, he's been going all over the field right there. Hopefully it might be like a cramp or whatnot. Maybe you hold him out the rest of the game.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Go ahead and send him down for the rest of the evening. I mean, he has had a heck of a ball game. 8 tackles, including a sack and a pass deflection. after getting hurt earlier in the ball game. So go ahead and sit him down for the rest of the night. I think he earned it.
Yeah, he done a great job.
Skyhawks going with the 5-wide look. Dynasty under center. Second down. Dynasty over the middle, bobbled and incomplete. As if it couldn't get much worse. You finally find an open receiver in Nolan Pierce, and he just drops it.
Knowing he was about to take a hit, probably saw the hit coming before the pass got there. You still got to come down with it, but it just, you're throwing it into triple coverage.
Let the mind control the body, not the body control the mind. The great Jimmy Johnson said that every single day. Dynasty throws into double coverage. Great catch there and a great first down for Earl.
I love that throw. I don't care if it's too late in the game or whatnot. That's a really good timing throw. You threw it right behind the flat coverage cornerback. Good first down.
Fortunately for Carolina, not enough of them here tonight, as Queen City has absolutely dominated every facet of this game. Dynasty back to the air on first down. Throws intended for Chris Curtis. Looks like it might have popped up. That really would have been insult to injury if it would have popped up off a shoe and ended up as a turnover.
Yeah, that's when you just like, all right, this is not our game. Things are not going our way. Yeah. let's just go home.
Four wide, Dynasty under center. 3 towards the bottom of the formation. 5:40 to go here in the fourth. Dynasty retreating, sets his feet, fires. Going to be a completion for 5 yards over the middle to Banks. And that brings up a 3rd and 5.
And I know it's out of reach, but this drive is very important because Carolina goes into next week playing a division rival, Florida Storm, and you want to have confidence because division games are extremely important. You can get in, stay in the race by winning your division game. So this is going to be important heading into the next game.
And the East and the North are both pretty jam-packed right now. I mean, the East more so than the North currently, with DC jumping out to a quick 5-0 start. I don't know who saw that one coming. I know I didn't. But great job for them in the North Division, taking firm control with Baltimore sitting at 2-2 coming into this week. Didn't have that on my bingo card either.
Yeah, I mean, you have 4 division games left if you're Carolina. Let's say you win 3 of them. You're going to be in the thick of things. You win all 4, who knows that can happen. This is still early in the season. You don't want to try to give up. You have a strong strength of schedule. Your teams have been tough. That's why it's ranked 2. So this is not over with yet.
In fact, both of these teams have the top 2. They are 1 and 2 as far as the strength of schedule is concerned early on in the SFL season, as Queen City, number 1 strength of schedule, Carolina, number 2 strength of schedule.
And look how Carolina has been playing these top teams. They only lost by 3 against DC. They lost by less than 2 scores against Pittsburgh, and only 10 by Baltimore. So the fact that they've been playing good football, they're there. They just have to, they got to focus on their passing and get a better passing game.
I agree. They can't use the running game as much of a crutch as they have to this point in the season. But I think they learned that lesson here tonight to playing against Queen City. They learned they cannot utilize the run game and become a single divisional team.
You got to have a healthy balance, or teams, they're going to know to put more people in the box and force you to pass the ball. That's what Queen City did today against Carolina.
So now the Corsairs taking their time, letting the clock run down as we approach the 4-minute mark. Another big tackle there for a gain of nothing. And very quickly, we're midway. I'd say it's early, but we're midway through the season now, Anthony. It's kind of hard to believe, but both these teams, like you said, plenty of opportunity left. There are plenty of winnable ball games left. Especially for Carolina, you've got 4 more opportunities at division games And that is going to work wonders for you in your playoff hunt. And you've been playing good football, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, like a turnover here, a pass here. 1-3 could have easily been 3-1.
We're going to toss it over to SFL HQ for our first game break of the evening with Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Cam, what you got?
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Pretty good game going on in Los Angeles. This was 14-10 at the start of the third. Evan Lacey with the pick six. Sin City goes up 21-10, but Los Angeles is driving in the red zone right now. Halfway through the third. We'll see you over there when your game concludes.
Awesome. Thank you, Cam. Great aesthetics over there in LA between the all gray unis and then the all white unis that Sin City is rocking. Man, love that.
I like it.
3rd and 3, and that will pretty much wrap it up. I would say that maybe one more first down we could go to victory formation, but Queen City has had this one in the bag pretty much seemingly the entire ball game. But hey, some nights you're the bug and some nights you're the windshield.
Yeah, this has just been a total domination for Queen City. They needed that after coming off a heartbreaking loss to DC by 3 points last week. So this is something of a good bounce back game for them, and this is something that they needed.
Really, really tough string of games here for the Corsairs. I mean, as you mentioned, it was a hard-fought win against Detroit, divisional matchup. They won that game. A couple blowouts by both Houston and Minnesota on the road before coming home and losing to DC in a nail-biter. What a great game that was. We hit the 2-minute warning here at Conpro Stadium. So I think this game does wonders for a Queen City team, especially, we talked about it, both of these divisions, both the East and the North, are wide open right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody still, they're all in it. Anyone can win it.
Matthew Jr., big catch. That's a first down. Carolina going to start calling timeouts, but this is going to be pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, and, you know, like you said, Eric, going through the season, like, it's important to win these key matchup games that you can win. They have the toughest schedules, so they got to try to find ways to sneak in wins here and there.
Keeping it on the ground, chewing some clock. And off to Bizarre, Carolina's second timeout. We want to let you know, folks, Saturday, a SFL 4-pack of games gets started with Minnesota and Denver in a central clash, plus Charleston, Oklahoma City, Mexico City and Florida, and Detroit, Fort Worth. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network. Great slate of games for tomorrow. Christensen to throw near the first down marker. Going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Carolina going to burn their final timeout.
What a absolute dominant performance today for Queen City. Both on the offense and defensive side, they able to make plays. Matthew Jr. almost 100 yards receiving. Didn't see that because it was just a slow winding game, but the fact is they came in with a great game plan to stop the run for Carolina, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, you want to talk about a quiet 100-yard game. That's probably the most quiet 100-yard game I think I've ever seen in league history.
I didn't even know. It didn't seem like he had that many yards, but that's what happens. It's been really stealth-like.
Well, you know, 357 total yards. Obviously, they had to have come from somewhere. And, you know, James Matthew Jr., we've called his name a lot tonight. Ryan Davis was a big play machine. Joe Beasley was a touchdown machine. So, you know, Queen City, a lot of playmakers here tonight. And it's really to no one's surprise that James Matthew Jr. was able to come up with a 100-yard game. And really, that's probably the only mistake that we've seen from Queen City all night long, other than that early pick, as we see a missed field goal to the right.
Second missed field goal we saw tonight from both of these teams. And, you know, that's kind of interesting, kind of hard to see. You know, you try to practice it. They have all the power, but sometimes you still need a little accuracy.
And so now Dynasty will have an opportunity. Just over 60 seconds to go. Garbage time. No timeouts for him to work with, though. as he will throw over the middle, and that one going to airmail his intended target, incomplete.
Yeah, and this is something that, I think Carolina trying to find a different passing plan for Dynasty. They have dynamic receivers that want the ball in their hands, so you got to find a way to get your playmakers the ball.
Dynasty with 3 wide, throws an interception. And Queen City will put the cherry on top of the cake. Justin Reside, we talked with him a little bit pregame, and he said if he comes away with an interception, this place might actually blow its top. And sure enough.
Yeah, that is icing on the cake right there. That's, you got all your sacks and your tackles for loss. You were missing the interception, and that's what they got. That's the way to end the game. A dominant performance on all sides of the ball for Queen City.
Victory formation, best formation in football if you're winning. And Queen City will go ahead and walk away from this one with a 24-0 shutout win. They go on the road next week against a tough Arizona Scorpion squad. We saw them take down Bossier City in the block of games before this one. Meanwhile, Carolina, they're going back home to take on division rival Florida. They are at the top of the East Division. The Storm are sitting at 3-2, so an opportunity for Carolina to move up the tables in the East Division.
You gotta win these games, the games that you have a good game plan for. Nobody's out of their division yet. Everybody can still make the playoffs. It's just about how important these games are and what the adjustments you make going into the next game.
15 weeks here in the SFL, and we are getting done with week 7. Week 7 actually just starting, but we are wrapping up this game here in Buffalo. Queen City 24, Carolina nothing, as the Corsairs move to 2-3. Carolina falls to 1-4. Anthony Ellison, your final thoughts, my friend.
I am very impressed with Queen City after some tough losses to the blowout loss they had earlier, to come out recognizing that they need to stop Carolina running game, and that's what they did. They held them to under 50 yards rushing. They was able to pass the ball efficiently, but also run the ball when they need to. Big third down plays, and we just saw a complete team that can do damage going forward.
Well, on behalf of Anthony Ellison, Michaela Foraker, and Justin Reside in the Stats Truck, Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. My name is Eric Vincent. We want to thank you for tuning into this presentation of the SFL on VFN. Visit simfl.net for more information on how you can get involved in our fine league. And as always, if you had half as much fun as I did, I had twice as much fun as you. Good night. See ya.